to be careful, and guess we'll see right here.
Okay, that
the
Prophet's
DP.
pretty safe.
Okay. Very
DP is
safe.
pretty safe here. I think overall what's nice about this is you can run it in the off lane, but you can still run it mid depending on the matchup. So it does give Egoboys a little bit more flexibility going into the final phase. They don't have last pick, as that's going to be going on over to the cut, but you do get to ban out some heroes here to kind of give you that flexibility.
We've seen Alone play it before as well, especially when the matchup dictates it. And Death Prophet, we only really see it run mid with a lot of these South American teams. It's really just been Alone and 4DR, but the hero, I've seen it dumpster some matchups where you just get completely, you get out-clicked, you get out-CS'd, and it's a scary hero. It's a very, very scary hero. If they do end up going versus the IO Elder Titan, the Spirit Siphon, it's very effective. You just kite them off you, and with the Nyx, it's hard to see how this Nyx is going to play into this game. If anything, it's a good answer for the Phoenix dive, but in that lane, it's going to be a little bit weird. Maybe good versus the balls, just always able to get a reliable stun onto the IO, but it's been a very long time since I've seen a Nyx.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while.
They do end up banning out the Void Spirit. I mean, when you have the Mars, it makes a lot more sense now. You have just that much more. He does add a lot of control to your team fight, and the burst damage that comes in from the Void Spirit as well is a lot to deal with, so might as well remove him. He's also a natural Spirit Vessel builder. In a game like this, you almost guaranteed want to build a Spirit Vessel here on the side of the cut. The question is, what heroes in the pool can you pick that can, farm it and still be effective with it?
When we've seen time and time again, Little Nick, one of the best players, especially breaking onto the scene on these spirits, so much respect given to his Void Spirit, especially leaving in the pool this late. You just can't do it versus him. He's able to get this last pick Void Spirit to be a pretty disaster draft-wise. Even, yeah, I was going to just mention the Lycan, another extreme comfort pick for him, but eking through the holes, there's still a Monkey King available to them. We've seen him play that to great effect before. We could see it again. And again, we also see the Bat Rider, another Little Nick hero.
I was like, the Bat Rider is the other one that comes to mind for me, but playing a Nyx is very hard.
It is, yeah, it's very difficult versus the Nyx, but again, it's one of those heroes that if Nick wants it, he'll take it, he'll do well in his lane, and then you just sort of run wild. But versus the Alki, it's a risk. It's a very big gamble where if you ever die, if you ever fail in your rotations, then it starts to become a much more difficult game. Good ban coming out. The Jug ban is very nice.
Interesting Jug ban, actually, because then that would mean that they would put Alchemid. I mean, if you want to do something similar, they could pick the Troll Warlord here. Or they can pick Ursa. Ursa's actually not as good into Mars. I think Troll is actually an incredibly strong hero against that lineup.
When
but
it's made it all the way through as well. But
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If they want to do something like that, run mid Alch off lane DP and then go for the Troll safe lane. It's actually not a bad game for something along those lines. But we'll see. They have plenty of time to think about this. They go with the Invoker for Alone. Okay. I mean, that's a solid pick either way.
Something the cut would have also been very happy if they received. Now, if anything, the cut, they're most likely looking for a hero that they could pair up with the IO in those late game situations, or even just a Chaos hero just to get in there. But does Nick play mid-Earth Spirit? I feel like it needs to be a hero that's going to go in and going to cause a lot of chaos because you're very low lockdown on the ET and the Phoenix. Again, we're going to see the Mars really pick up the weight when it comes to these team fights. And I feel like you need a little bit of pressure taken off of him in Nick's hero. I mean, it could still be the Monkey King. It's pretty rough versus the Invoker, though.
It is, yeah. You can never Jingu stack. The other option would be like a Kunkka. But they go Tiny. I was going to say, if you go Kunkka, I feel like you just don't have the damage. So they're going to go for Tiny, which gives you a little bit more mid-game, early-game burst. It's picked up a lot into the Alchemist, actually. But I feel like the cut, if they don't come out of the lanes ahead, I don't know how they actually take this late into Egoboys here.
Aside from Scourge and his Ags timing, they have zero recovery method. It really is that blink timing on Tiny, blink timing on Tingle King, being able to get these team fights. They need to be so successful in these team fights. And Egoboys, they have really chaotic heroes. They have the Nyx, they have the Witch Doctor, where if the cut mess up their jump at any point, they're in. They have no way of getting out. It's really up to Tingle and Nick to really get a lot done in these team fights. Scourge is the only tool that they can really use to get people out if it does go haywire, but I feel like Egoboys, they have the answers. In addition to that, DP is just a perfect pick versus the relocate, where you come in, you immediately get 5 seconds silenced, and then you have to sit there and either wait or run at people. And think the team fights are going to be very difficult if the cut don't get in, get everything done quick, and then get out.
I'm agreeing with you, man. I'm honestly, like, this draft, I'm very much in favor of Egoboys. I think a lot of this is going to come down to Scourge, like you said. Like, he has to have an amazing game on this IO. He has to come out very far ahead. We're going to see Benjaz taking this Prophet to the off lane. You do have ET, who is an incredible damage dealer, and with the overcharge buff coming out for him, you might be able to find some kills onto the Nyx Assassin or the Death Prophet. But I think between the two of them, they have enough, damage and sustain that I don't think they're really gonna be able to push them out. And Scourge, yeah, he'll probably farm, but keeping up with an Alchemist is gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult for sure.
And then it's just going to come back whenever it's those matchups. It's all going to be about the supporting cast. Will this Invoker be able to make the rotations? Will Nick be able to make the rotations? Because these lanes are incredibly gankable for alone. There's really a lot of kind of quiet setup where somebody doesn't realize they're getting gone on until it's almost too late, and then Egoboys just go back to farming. In a situation where you can just farm off the kills and just continue to get so much speed. Oh, I mean, Alchemist, Invoker, you're very greedy on Egoboys, but the rest, they've almost split the farm up perfectly in this draft, where Banjo's Car and Tano need very little gas in the tank to get going.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. We'll see. We got game 1 here of our second series today, our final series of the day. An elimination series, the Cut and Egoboys. We just finished watching Penta Ace go up against Unknown, and they come out 2-0 there for Penta Ace. And they will advance to play the winner, if I'm not mistaken, of Undying game, and who else? Undying and SG Esports.
Undying SG, huh? Those are some powerful teams. Yeah. That's going to be rough, especially if Penta Ace end up going versus Undying, because we've seen them struggle versus the other North American teams. But everybody's got a chance still. Then that's the beauty of the lower bracket.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, we should be back into action here after just a short moment. There's always you always got to pause, get those stretches in right before the game starts. So if you haven't stretched in a little while, check your posture.
Yep. See Witch Doctor drawing on the map a little bit, maybe seeing one of the big wrapping movements we haven't seen so far in our previous series, but are very popular. Especially you just get the words down, get it quite deep, see the rotations coming in, and maybe get a nice little easy pick. Especially having the Impale cask suck. You can really keep them there, but Alk not one of the best heroes for doing that, so we'll see if they do that top or bottom, but might try to catch the Cut off guard.
I mean, Mars Phoenix is such a strong lane too. That's actually a lane that the Alchemist is going to struggle in for sure. I mean, it's one of these things that Alk does do a lot of physical damage in the lane, just in the form of the acid spray. But when you're dealing with that, the amount of magic harass that comes out of Phoenix and the Mars, it becomes almost sometimes too much. So having the Witch Doctor there, he's probably going to end up putting some early points in that Voodoo Restoration just to make sure that he stays alive.
And that's the style that we usually see Kara play. It's really Witch Doctor and an Enchantress. We see him on those heroes pretty much habitually. He picks it pretty much every game he gets the opportunity to, and is just the nice guy. He's always walking around, being a human ward, getting the D wards. Actually, Alone's... Did Nick scout it out? He killed his mid ward.
30 seconds and counting.
Interesting. Yeah, Alone placed his observer right here and then right-clicked it 100-0.
Wait, he killed his ward and then replaced it? Wait.
Well, he placed his ward and then just immediately killed it. I'm not sure if anybody saw him place it, but nobody took tower shots, so maybe they knew, but still, it's kind of a strange play.
Well, now they're going to waste sentries. That's the play. They're like, oh, they've got a second ward somewhere, and then they'll never find it.
Somewhere. Yeah, no, they just never find it. And unfortunately, we see Tano. He does have a sentry ward, and that's going to be his job. He needs to keep these bottom creep camps blocked to force Pingu to either start stacking this large camp, which isn't the worst thing for his IO, but more important, just not able to get the Astral Spirit. You see Pingu actually put the Astral Spirit on the players blocking the creep wave's top, so now he's going to have a big Spirit if it clips onto Benja's bottom.
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
Oh.
Oh, just barely misses it. I mean, he still basically has double damage, so
yeah.
Benjaz, gotta be careful here. He's gonna take so much damage. Yeah, there it is. That's the stun that's gonna come out from this Nyx assassin. You lose your courier right at the start of the game here on Pingu, so that feels pretty bad. Does get those tangos though, at least before it does fall.
Well, it's really unfortunate now. Scourge is the one who needs to bring out a sentry because this camp is blocked, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to get the aggression out until they're at least level 2 or 3 because you don't have those spirits. Benja's is just getting clicked. This Boots First build on Pingu is really going to pay dividends in that realm.
Oh, yeah. Taking a look at mid lane. So far, pretty even. 7-1 to 5-2. Now, if you are Lil Nick, you shouldn't really have any issues securing ranged creeps, right? Like you have the tree toss as well as just the general extra damage from your auto attacks with that tree. They actually end up chasing all the way into the tower bottom lane, and they're just going to tango up and be fine because that's how IO works. Top lane, Kara falling low as well, but just some trading. Once they have level 2, they might have
to get something going.
Yeah, they also have the level of Enter now. They're still level 1 here on the cut in the top lane, so they don't have Spear, they don't have Dive, and that's a lot of extra damage.
Nick is doing much better than expected, though. He already has his bottle. He has almost perfect CS as well. This isn't the greatest lane for Invoker, but Nick is kind of rocking it right now.
Man, I'm just watching Pingu constantly just harasses bottom lane so much, and he ends up just finding a courier. Yep, he does.
Okay.
Tano's been holding the stun for a while. A little bit afraid to throw it, just wants to make sure that he uses it when the spirit is coming out so that you can reduce at least some of that spirit damage.
When they know as soon as he uses the Impale, he knows that it's either him or it's going to be Benjaz that's going to get gone on in.
Oh,
they're making a plan to Pingu.
Yeah, luckily just really fast thanks to that tether plus those boots of speed. But again, since his courier was dead at the start of the game, he doesn't have a salve coming out. He doesn't have... Yeah, it's finally there, but it's going to be a little bit before it actually arrives.
And we'll have to see bottom lane. Whenever the 4-minute runes do spawn up, Tano will probably make a rotation to try and keep it out of the hands of the Tiny, but that's when Benjaz needs to be very cautious because they're going to be level 3 around that time, and they're going to be able to really run him down even harder with that level 2 and Astral Spirit.
Vol does have level 2 Fire Spirit's top, and he's doing like a decent chunk of damage on over, but takes a lot of damage from the coconut as well. The dive forward, going to be able to throw one more on top of Kara's Witch Doctor. And he's out of mana. He does have a mango, but all of that extra regen has kept rises, you know, at least in
Bottom.
Oh my god.
They barely got him.
Yeah, I mean, this combo, we've been watching this lane the whole time. We're like, all right, you know, they're gonna eventually find a kill, right? But
it's the moment you don't think it's gonna happen that it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I
and
guess
that's a really sad death because now Nick, it's a fortunate spawn top for alone, but if he got unlucky there, then Nick would have had just free range.
I mean, they're just gonna be able to continue play this lane. Oh, bottom lane, Tano. I mean, they lose Witch Doctor top, but Pingu's getting ready to go once again in the bottom lane. Are they gonna be able to chase down Rises though? Is the question. Doesn't look like it. Okay.
Yeah, and the issue being that because of how strong this top lane is, we're not seeing this support able to make a rotation to the jungle. We don't have any stacks yet. We're really just seeing him stuck up here, and whenever the creep wave is out of control, bottom.
Yeah, I mean, that was... We got this one. Down. Jerry coming in hot, getting the first kill of the game there. That was definitely first blood. We didn't miss anything else. Yeah, I mean, it's just rinse and repeat in the bottom lane. They just hammer down any target that they see. 5-minute bounties, however, are here. Who's going to win the clicking fest in the top lane? Ends up going the way of Pingu.
Oh, Nick.
Rises might be in trouble, too. Nick falling low, trying to make it up to the high ground, pops that fairy fire. He's going to be able to bottle this bounty rune and toggle through. He's going to be fine. Top lane, Kara falling incredibly low. Do they have the damage? One more auto attack.
Burn.
They ends up getting him with the burn, and those are 2 earn charges. This is one of the biggest problems with when you lose an offlane like this, is now you have to deal with the earn regen.
Well, and while Nick will suffer a little bit, just because the Phoenix is... both
Oh, God,
supports are very
Benjas.
stuck. Oh,
And
it's
some
just so
trouble.
much
He's trying to hit
damage.
the impale. He is going to eventually connect on
Alone.
it. But alone. Rotation on in. Tornado. Cold snap onto Pingu. Does he have save coming? Nice stomp, but reflects the damage with a real nice spike carapace there. It will at least
And
get
that's
the
what
trade.
both sides need to be very scared of, is just both mid laners are so good at ganking these lanes, and you're going to have to be low. You're going to need to be very cautious in these spaces. And, well, perfect TP from Tano, actually.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nick isn't able to get the rune again, and they just need to keep on stopping Nick from getting runes. Just delays the Blink Dagger so much. It delays his opportunities pre-Blink Dagger, and that's where Alone will really be able to pick up the slack.
I see Kara TPing back in on the top lane. He just throws out his fire spirits here right at the end of their duration and end up catching the Witch Doctor, which is nice. But Rises does not have like the best CS so far. I mean, he's 25 and 4. They've already died twice in the Witch Doctor. He doesn't have any deaths, but Tingle King level 5 and Vol level 4. So I mean, they've got the nice XP lead in the top lane. Bottom lane, they're going to be looking for him once again. They drop the spirit, pull it back. Stomp comes in, but canceled by Tano there on the Nyx Assassin. Now, the question is, can they turn this? They do have the damage on the
big
Elder
spirit.
Titan. Yeah, they do have a lot of damage, but Tano as well, reflecting a lot with that Spike Carapace. And he's just sidestepping everything on Scourge's IO here. Trying to be kept alive. Does have 8 stick charges. The salve goes over, and they're going to regen under tower here.
But at the same time, again, they've lost control of the top wave, and I'm surprised Kara hasn't moved out yet, trying to get some of these stacks going. As we saw, he's just stuck here. He's stuck laning, and even though Rises didn't die, whenever he got low before, he had to walk all the way back to base and TP to the lane, so he's very starved. He'll be able to pop his 6 soonish, but it still really doesn't feel great.
Ooh, Pingu. Oh, he'll be fine. They have Hell with the Dominator now on Scourge, so you have a scenario here where he can always just go jungle. He can clear stacks super easily because he has something to tank for him. He's got these 3 points in spirits and is trying to make to this stack just in time. It looks like he did make it. We'll see here. See if it does actually stack. And it will. All right. Nicely done. This guy has played IO once or twice in his life, I believe.
Well, in the meantime, it just feels like the cut are going to get their timings a little bit faster. It looks like Kara's gonna go down here. And this is the problem. You can't be giving up some of these pickoffs. You want to defend your jungle as much as you can, but every second that this Tiny is going to get his Blink Dagger faster is just more time where he's going to be a threat on the map that you're not going to be able to really farm or recover. And now we're going to see Pingu able to finally make moves, maybe even just take a little bit of XP because he's independent now. The HOD is done. He can do whatever he wants on this IO now.
Yeah, we'll probably see him try and move on over to the triangle at some point here pretty soon. I think he just saw the Nyx. Yeah, he does see him, so he knows there's some people down here, and in fact, it's actually 4 heroes down here in the bottom lane. So he does need to be a little careful, and that's exactly what he's doing. He TPs on over mid. He's gonna go ahead and farm the other side of the jungle. Maybe he gets that stack. Dude, that was such a sick TP. He gets a stack off just in time as well. This man, he has one thing on his mind, and it's killing creeps.
And we've seen he was pretty good at IO at the beginning of the tournament, but I've only seen him get faster and faster with these timings, and it's really just a fun to see for such a player as well. I mean, he loves his Wraith King, he loves his Medusa, he's an ultra farmer, and IO just slots so well into that playstyle. But
yeah, I mean, you can see it now. He's at 4,200 net worth here, just about 9 minutes. He might hit that 5K net worth by 10 if he keeps up this pace. It'll be close. Nah, he's not gonna get it, but he'll be close. And it's one of those things that this IO will be able to farm extremely fast if given the space. So we'll see how he does this. Oh, there is an ancient stack. Hello there.
he's just farming it.
Oh yeah,
It's crazy how easy it is, but at the same time, they're making forcing plays all around the map. They do have enough mana for, I guess, the arena top if they wanted to use it, but they want to save those tools, and Alone's really got to start making plays. and they will get, looks like a freebie on Pingu, but
Well, maybe not. Tornado misses.
maybe not.
Pingu's out. They have the Sun Ray
Oh,
immediately
no.
canceled. Arena does end up coming out, and they'll take down the Nyx instead. Now you're level 6 on your Phoenix. Egg is online.
when Benjas was able to punish the bottom tower, was able to take it with the Exo, I believe, but Alone's going for Midas. This game is looking like Egoboys want to gear up and take it at least a little bit later. It looks like they want to get a little bit more XP going, as they kind of feel that the cut are taking it back a little bit. They're trying to make plays on the map, and if you can survive those strong item timings, then it's going to feel really nice, but I'm not sure. It's all about this Blink Dagger on Tiny, and once he has it, I mean, it's looking like maybe a 13-minute Blink Dagger.
Yeah. He'll have Blink, plus he'll have his level 10, which gives him the 4/4 in Avalanche and Toss. So just so much damage coming out from those spells. Ooh, top lane, King actually whiffs on his God's Rebuke, and I don't know if they have the damage to take down Rises now, as he will be able to just try and walk away with that Chemical Rage.
To their top tower.
Tiny is coming
There's
up,
so
so if
much
they keep
pressure, though.
vision, they might be able to get the kill.
Oh,
2
everyone's
TPs
coming.
plus Kara. They're committing. They get the spear, but a nice 3-man silence, and now the coconut coming out. Kara not level 6, but does get the Maledict onto Little Nick. They're gonna try and go for the backside. There's gonna be the Spirit Siphon plus the EMP. They take him down. Now Pingu. Tornado to cancel. Unable to escape. A little bit too greedy here from the side of the cut.
What is Tingle? I guess it looks like he won't get punished. It's a nice punish coming out from Egoboys, but at the same time, they're putting so much pressure on this Alchemist where I keep looking at this IO and I keep seeing nothing. Hasn't been a scratch on him in the past few minutes. He's just able to farm up, do whatever he pleases, and you've got to be a little bit scared, I feel like, going into the mid game versus this IO, because this is a fast Ags.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's level 11 at 12 minutes. He's what, just about 1100, 1200 away from his Aghanim Scepter, so he's feeling quite good. Yeah, I mean, this is Alchemist level. I mean, I guess above Alchemist level farm is, well, for the moment, as he is about to clear up some huge stacks in the jungle,
Yeah.
courtesy of Kara, and this will be the final Battle Fury item that he needs, this Claymore.
And then at that point, it looks like he will have his Battle Fear at around the same time that Nick should have his Blink Dagger. Nick's still inching a little bit away, but once that Blink Dagger is online, he'll be able to finally get some plays going across the map, finally get some rotations done, as he's really either been stuck in his lane or stuck around the rune spots. Even that rotation top didn't feel too great, but Owen's trying to be aggressive with his Midas.
They see him, though, with the Ward Sentry here in the river. They actually know exactly where he is. Exorcism comes out mid. Lil Nick, 200 gold away from Blink. So unfortunate for him, as he would love to be able to jump Benjaz here. And instead, he's going to take a Spirit Siphon right on the side.
Egg.
He ends up dropping the egg, but I mean, he's in the middle of the whole team. Alacrity comes out. It's just a zoning egg to try and save his team. Nice damage there from that Earth Splitter, but they don't have any way to kill anybody.
It was very strange. It almost felt like you wanted Tingle King to be there, but he didn't even have Arena. It felt a little bit disjointed from the cut as a response, and they do have Glyph for the tower, and with Exorcism leaving, maybe they'll look for a get out, but they're very low. Ooh.
Pingu
Tingle.
gonna get caught here. Beautiful play by him. He comes mid lane on the Mars, but has 0 mana to assist with. He ends up getting that wand, drops the Arena Spirit as well. Do they have the damage to finish it off? Going for that Death Ward will do some serious work there. They take down 2, make it 3 with the toss, now alone on the run. And Blink
anything-
Dagger completed.
Perfect rotation from... It felt pretty bad just because Tingle King he barely didn't have enough mana for anything. He couldn't do anything inside of his own ring, but that was enough. Oh, alone. He just clipped him.
And he just had DD and Cold Snap earned. Pretty easy for him to do it.
Now we'll finally see the cut really able to make some of these sweeping plays, though, with the Blink Dagger on Nick. He doesn't want to reveal it, but... Oh, just going to take it away. Alone's just going for this tower.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely
Wow.
Well played by him. He knows he's basically free. This IO just wants to jungle, and suddenly Alchemist is top net worth, right? This is how this hero works. You give him a little bit of space, which they made oodles of here on Egoboys, and he's got that Battle Fury, the Yasha on his way to that Sanj.
And that is the only issue that they do need to be slightly scared of, is every single time your rotations don't work out or they get countered by Egoboys, then you're going to continuously fall behind. And while there is this fantastic timing on the IO, and IO is one of the best heroes versus Alk because it can continuously farm while you're killing heroes. You're just always able to either make the relocate play to just farm out a wave, get an extra creep wave here and there, or you want to make your plays with your Tiny. It feels like you're losing ground a little bit as Egoboys have geared up to go a little bit later. I mean, Invoker's going for the Witchblade now, but the Mice on top of it, he really doesn't want any big team fights, and I think Egoboys are going to continue to put pressure on with the Exorcism and continue to dodge fights.
Yeah, absolutely. That would make the most sense.
They're smoked up mid with the Tingle King blink, but they didn't find anything.
And they have blink on Mars and on the Tiny. They would love to try and find someone. The Alchemist bottom. Do they actually have vision? They do. They have a nice ward here on the hard camp. The question is, can you go for him? It's so difficult for you to go to that side of the map right now and find that kill. Instead, they're going to focus down this mid tier 1 tower. Bottom lane, TP's come out. The arena.
Oh no.
It just misses.
Yeah.
It just misses Rise. Okay. He is fine.
Oh, they need to be careful. They're very split right now compared to Egoboys. Well, if they see Vol,
Vol's going to walk right into him, and there is more than enough damage to bring him down.
Well, at the same time, they weren't able to get the mid tower as well. It feels like there was a call to push mid and try to kill Rise's bottom, and looks like they get a freebie on the Witch Doctor, but still just feels not too great, and they're collapsing on Nick.
Yeah, and they are going to be able to find this, I think, with easier.
Beautiful.
Nice 2-man impale. And with the Tornado, the EMP coming through, it's going to connect onto all 4 heroes. The EMP ends up finding that kill with the help of Tano. Nice stomp, though. Does catch 3. Scourge, he's here. He wants to fight the spear. It doesn't connect onto the tree. There's no trees. The Earth Splitter cleared them all out, and now it's just Benjaz trying to do what he can here on the Death Prophet, but he is out of mana, only has a silence, but
IO.
this IO doing so much work. Now he gets those max ranges. Spirits at 15.
And now he just doesn't need to be close to anyone. He still needs to be cautious of the Nyx Carapace, but you don't want to be fighting if you're Egoboys, and that's what the cut need to do. They need to force Egoboys to consistently fight them, but they need to respect this Pingu guy a little bit more. That was a beautiful stun.
It really was. It caught all 3 heroes into a perfect Earth Splitter. Like, that was the dream. Oh, Scourge gonna find the enemy stacks. That's very nice. How kind.
When once he gets BKB, there really isn't much for him to be afraid of. As the Alchemist, he still needs a little bit of time. He's going for a BKB of his own.
Wait a minute. They're not gonna fight it?
Tingle?
They're actually afraid to go for the Alchemist there, I guess. And now, instead, Vol, he's in a lot of trouble. He gets the egg out just in time. Rises, however, going to close the gap, get pushed away. Do they have the way to stop it? No. Rises will be able to finish it off. And now Benjaz pops that Exorcism. Rises, Avatos on the backside. Do they have the burst? They do.
Perfect.
Little Nick able to find him. Tingle King, got to get that spear and get this Death Prophet away, but it's not going to happen. Coconut bouncing back and forth, catching onto the eye with the Maledict as well. The Spirit Siphon is there. The Silence, they can chase him down. He has that overcharge for the moment, but he's taking so much damage.
Gone.
Scourge, no way to survive this. That Maledict will finish him off. And Lil Nick trying to find the kill there on Nakara, but caught by that cold snap and that earned.
Oh my goodness.
The Death Prophet absolutely destroying the side of Cut.
And while they were unable to protect their Alchemist there, once he has BKB, I feel like that'll just continue to happen. They almost need this BKB on the IO before they can make a play like that again. And that's the strength of this Witch Doctor versus the IO is you keep the Maledict on, it's so much more difficult for him to heal during that overcharge. And I mean, he just goes down. They need to be a lot more careful whenever this Death Prophet pops their ultimate. That was level 2, but still, they just engaged way too hard in that fight.
Looking for Vol bottom. Alone's here. Saw him with the ward. Just gonna be able to drop everything. Waiting for Tano and a perfectly canceled dive. Yeah, not much you can do to that one.
That previous fight as well, it's just super unfortunate that he just barely put the Alchemist in his ring instead of keeping him away from the egg. And we haven't seen the combo go off yet. And these team fights are really starting to suffer. And I mean, the gold lead, it's starting to amount.
It is. Yeah, you're at 6K now. I mean, the IO is incredibly farmed, and you have that going for you, but is it enough to beat the Alchemist? Like, you know, we worried about their damage going late game, and when we talk about late game, I'm more thinking like, you know, 30, 45 minutes, right? That's going to be the late game here. I mean, if this goes to like 60, you know, maybe you stand a chance here on the cut just because IO is actually so absurd at that point in the game, especially with a tiny. But yeah, I mean, they're starting to fall a little bit behind here on the cut.
Well, in that same vein, you need to be careful. You don't have very high armor heroes. You do have the tiny, but the
mid.
backline. Oh, Nick.
Yeah, he's gonna get caught out. Great gank, great rotation. Alone's gonna be able to pick that one up.
And it's these little picks where Alone, I mean, it feels like he's starting to snowball his game. He has boots of travel now. He's going to continue to play in these side lanes. And again, if the cut, they're in, they're in. They need to win while they're in, or they're just going to die. If they ever have to back out of a fight in too unfortunate a way, they're just going to lose. And that's the issue with some of the heroes on their team where they really aren't mobile. They're very stuck in their ways, and if the team fight goes south, they just have to sit there and eat it. And Egoboys are just able to make their plays around the map a little bit easier. I'll smoke up.
Well,
Alone's
will
just
catch
popping
him. Yeah, I mean, they're just ghost walked up on the Invoker here. Alone's just been sitting behind this tower the whole time, waiting to find someone. They do get the sentry drop there, which is nice. Out gonna Chemical Rage and walk out. They just can't connect onto anything. They just circle top like, hey guys, let's go deep push.
Yeah, they know that they've forced 5 heroes here. They realize that the cut, if they see any hero split pushing, that's who they would try to kill. Tano.
He does catch the Nyx, which is nice, and that should be an easy pick off for them. And the question is, can they get more? This does catch Alone, but he is so fast on this Invoker, and he should be fine.
He's just running. Yeah, it's very unlikely that they're able to find him. Pingu tried to cut him off, but... And again, with this IO, they don't really have the heroes to pair with it, where in the previous game versus the Alchemist, we saw that they were able to force the Roche. They were able to pull that team out of their base, where against this team, you have to get objectives, and Egoboys, they're fine. They're good at defending their objectives. They're fine with pushing out these waves, and oh, Nick.
Oh, he had Blink. He didn't actually get it off, though. It could have been a bait. They're coming in. Their egg, it's up on the high ground. It's well placed. They get the first Nick, though. Caught by the Maledict. Will end up falling either way. Alchemist self-stun. Pingu in some trouble, though. The Nyx Assassin is there. The Sun Ray just beating down Rises, but he's able to get that BKB. Now Kara, as well as Benjaz, doing some serious work with this Exorcism Scourge. He's got to get this kill. He needs to be able to take him down, but they can't do it. Rises, so you go ahead and throw that concoction. Sets up a 2-man stun, but they have no way of making their way over there.
And call it a bait, call it whatever you'd like, but it was a fantastic read from the cut, or even just a reaction from the cut where that egg was perfect from Vol. That's unfortunate. Would have been a free Witch Doctor, but...
I mean, he was going for the Alk.
Oh, yeah. At the same time, though, this is what the cut need to do. They need to force Egoboys to fight them. They need to force out these abilities. And when they don't have Exo, they're a lot less scary on Egoboys. And that's when you need to be careful of showing in these lanes. You need to be cautious, because the burst damage from the cut is really something to be scared of, especially before Alone gets his BKB with his more greedy build, where he definitely can get punished.
Yeah. AC almost completed up on Rises here. Just a couple hundred gold away. Chump change for an Alchemist, really.
Mm-hmm.
And we're now moving towards that Sanj Kaya for the IO. Typically, the item that we end up seeing get picked up on him almost every time. That extra health gain, right? The heal amplification, but also that status resist. And then you also get the Kaya for that spell damage, which adds up quite a bit when you get that level 20 talent, right? That extra 60 hero spirit damage.
When we either see, usually the 20 talent is a huge spike. Oh, bot? Oh, Vol.
Oh, they actually barely caught him. Alone, what a sick play. That's going to be a kill.
Alone is just, individually, he's one of the strongest players, I think, in the tournament. He's really shown that in a lot of the matchups and a lot of the games where he's just able to outskill his mid lane opponent, in a lot of situations just outskill the entire enemy team. Even though they are in the lower bracket, he's just individually a fantastic player to watch. Oh, it's a good scan. They know what's up. Looks like they might just back out, though.
Yeah, well, Lil Nick might not be.
Nick.
Silence, but he gets the blank. Tano is here. They know. Do they have detection? There is a dust. Oh, he uses it. He goes north, but he gets the Force Staff.
Yeah, he needed to instantly pop the arena if he wanted it, but they don't want to use these tools, especially when the enemy team has Exo. They know that if they feed a little bit too close to the pit, it's just going to result in an Aegis going into either the Alchemist or the Invoker. And again, the cut, they don't want Egoboys to get these objectives, and they want to force a fight, but now that BKBs are online, they're kind of stuck waiting a little bit. They need to wait for another item timing, but they're smoking with Mars' own BKB.
Right under the ward in the mid lane. They get the smoke,
Yeah.
though.
They're just gonna split. Alone, it's not afraid at all. Nobody should be afraid.
Yeah, rises, jumps all the way back into the base. Witch Doctor going north to the trees, as well as Tano. Like, all of them feel pretty safe right now. Oh, okay, Witch Doctor.
Oh, Tingle.
Not going to be lucky here. Do they actually have detect? They don't have detection on these guys. He's going to get Sunray. He will eventually fall. Nice pick off.
Well, it's not the worst thing, as you see a 3k gold lead almost emerges while they were doing all that. They were spending a lot of time just not getting much accomplished. And do they make a turn for the pit? I don't think they're ready for it just yet. And they're going to have to make the call for waves. And again, it's just Egoboys coming out on top in a lot of these trades. And once DP has her own BKB, then you're going to have to need to fear the Prophet again.
Yeah, Scourge will go bottom to deal with the waves. Relocate down,
Tingle.
but I mean, for the most part, he hasn't really used it for much.
Under attack.
Well, they know there's a sentry there now.
Tano was able to get that. That's the free pick. That's the in rotation pick. Oh, you even just denies the ward there.
That's a sick
Benjaz?
play. Oh, mid lane, yeah. They will catch Benjaz. The avalanche, the toss back. Yule's protecting for the time being. In comes Rises, throws that concoction onto Scourge, but the egg is there. He pops the BKB. He's got to run away. And there's the teamfight combo we were talking about. Kara, I mean, he just came back. He can't afford to go down again, but the stomp on the mark. There's going to be a couple more auto attacks, and Scourge will find himself another kill here on the IO. Who are they found on the backside? It's a Nyx. He's going for the TP out.
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, he's not out. That's the spirit damage talent right there. That hit hard.
Well, and this is the problem. Now you just go immediately to the rush. You fed maybe 20 feet away from the pit. And if Scourge, it's not very fast, but if everybody comes here and hits it, Egoboys, they need to contest. They need to throw a tornado in there, something. But Rises doesn't have BKB for 30. It's unfortunate as well. The Death Prophet was 50 gold from her BKB up until that point, but they want the fight. They don't necessarily want the Roche. But
They dive up.
Rises.
They find the Alk. I mean, they had that ward sentry scouting it out. The Avalanche, the toss the spear into the wall, and the Sunray to wipe them down. That is a huge pick off. And they, like, the thing is Alk immediately pings the wards. He's like, oh, all right, there's a ward there. And he just goes right back into Roche.
Play from the Alchemist. It's almost in character, and yeah, he goes back to the Roche. It's so slow, but it's inevitable, and this is exactly what you want from Scourge, because now he's got the heart already queued up. We've seen him do this several times where he's just going to become the monster. He's going to be this thing that's existing in this fight. It's almost ever present, and he's just going to be fearless.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Kai Assange completed. He's going for the Heart of Tarask next. I mean, this IO is going to tank up to like 4,500 HP. And then, you know, good luck killing him, as he does like 400 damage per second.
When there is still a lot of kiting potential, you still do have the easy carapace on him pretty much at all times. Oh, freebie on Kara.
Yeah, it is, indeed. He does get a Maledict off, but they did also see Tano for a second in the bottom here. The question, oh my gosh, he is just following the orbs. Let them guide you. There it is.
And it's a catch-22 with how far ahead Scourge is.
Well, they catch Benjaz as well. They force the BKB. He's going for the TP out. They got the damage. It doesn't matter. The overcharge onto Little Nick. Double kill for Scourge. They're just running him over now. This is the timing.
Oh no, this is a disaster. That's your 10-second BKB. Now, even if you respawn, you're not going to want to necessarily take a fight. And while the split is great, Rises is already back in the base. They're going to glyph this wave out surely, but oh, they're just hitting it. They're just doing so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can really do here. Oh, I guess, yeah, the second wave on the way here. Tingle King takes a lot of damage here from the Tornado EMP. Mars, gotta be careful. The tower will survive.
It's so difficult to approach, though.
Oh my god, look at the healing onto Tingle King. The Spirit Vessel, plus that Salve Scourge. He does have the BKB. He does have that Ags. They're trying to take down this tier 3 tower.
And that's the issue. We haven't seen
Alk actually
go
went in
for
to try and
Tingle.
deny it, but they find Tano. As a result, so Witch Doctor gets the tower denied, but you lose your Nyx Assassin, and Alone just taking so much damage from these spirits as he's just sitting on the front line. He does not care at all. Oh, Alone on the backside pops the BKB, tries to go in, but Lil Nick being held so much by the Sunray. Scourge able to take it down to the low ground. There's going to be an Earth Splitter. It's going to catch Alone in the back. He runs right into it, and Kara just getting split to pieces by Scourge. There's going to be the egg right on the high ground. No way to stop it. The avalanche, the toss. That's a dieback on your Nyx. Benjaz, he's got nothing. BKB expired. They're trying to do what they can here.
No.
Beautiful spear by Tingle King, and they're all healed back up by the Sun Ray. As Scourge will continue to put himself in a position to just cleave down the Egoboys.
And what's unfortunate, they can't get any more racks. It's just IO on display. There's nothing they can do. There's no way for them to approach. It's almost sad because this is a first pick IO. This is a straight up first pick IO, and it's just working out so beautifully. There's no way for Egoboys. There's no point of entry. It's literally just run at the IO, and when he's got an Aegis in his hands, he's not afraid of anything. And now, with the heart being completed too, it's just balling out of control.
He's gonna get heart and 25 very soon because he bought the tome. So Scourge, I mean, level 25, you almost always go. I think you always go the the tether attack, basically.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and then it hits with all of the God's Rebuke. It hits with everything. With it just feels like, what do Egoboys do? They don't have a way to get into these fights. They're so reliant on almost the Nyx Assassin getting a team fight started with this Death Prophet pick, and it feels like the counter timing is just not there anymore. They missed it. It was all about that Benjaz BKB, but it's just a little bit too late now, and they're just gonna go at your Rack's top now.
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? Once again, Scourge just gonna keep pelting him with these balls. Benjaz down a third of his HP that fast. He's already committed that barrier as well. They're going for the big wraparound here on the smoke. They do see Alone, so they know that this is coming. Lil Nick is ready.
Nick
got BKB as well. In comes Tingle King. He's gonna go ahead and Abyssal down that Mars right away, but he's taken a ton of damage. The overcharge not gonna be enough to save him on the backside of the fight. The Earth Splitter does come out doing what they can. Pingu falls as well, but now rises. You need to leave. You don't have BKB. Tano starting to fall low. Tiny is here as well. The avalanche, the toss combo, it's there. The BKB up on Alone, the stun out onto Scourge. He's got that Aegis still. It's not expiring for another 30 seconds. The egg on the backside will greatly give them a lot of space. And now Scourge, ooh, nice cancel. He should be fine. I mean,
yeah, he'll just BKB, walk it off. Still, is that exactly what you want? Your BKBs are going to continue to tick down. You got the Aegis. It was the perfect jump, though. They found Tingle King. If he was able to get that BKB off, that fight, it would have been almost GG there. I don't think Egoboys would have been able to hold after that. But they got the damage. They got Mars, and that's who they need to play on. They need to continue to punish the person that the IO is playing with, whether that's Nick or him. But Kurtz just need to be a little bit careful showing without BKB, but I don't think he'll get punished.
yeah, I mean, he's not going to die solo to an Invoker.
Oh,
Needing a lot more damage
HP.
than that. I mean, net worth.
So
I mean, this game is
awkward phase now.
Yeah, I mean, the game's like dead even in net worth. You needed this. This was like the Alk timing. Like, he needed to be like a full item or two ahead, and Egoboys just needs to be behind him. But Scourge has just had an incredible game on this IO. And like we said, if you give him this hero, you gotta find a way to deal with it. And it doesn't seem like they were ready. Smoked up behind Scourge, walking up onto the high ground. Tano gonna pop
he sees
the smoke.
everything.
Yeah, he sees everything.
It is so difficult. If they ever catch you, oh, it's a long TP, but I think he's good.
Is he?
Oh, wow. He whiffed the rebuke as well. That was all just Scourge.
That was 100%
to 0
Scourge
from the IO.
Yeah. Wow.
It's the pack leader's aura. It's
Quite good.
coming into play a little bit.
I mean, it is 30% base damage on an IO who has a heart, right? Like, this is...
Vol needs to be careful.
It is a lot of damage.
He's got a Ghost Scepter, but...
Should be fine this time. You can go and tornado it, but...
He misinvoked a little bit there.
Is he going to chase
In fact,
Alone?
he's getting played on a little
No,
bit,
he's
but...
not.
They don't even want to use relocate. They want to continue to put the pressure. There's only one Rax left. It really feels like Egoboys are running out of time as the cutter just translating the map now to their side. And 25 on Scourge. Oh boy.
Machine Gun IO online now, thanks to the level 25 talent. So, you know, if he gets to your high ground, that base will fall. I mean, we just saw him shred through that bottom tier 1 tower in just a matter of seconds. He's going to queue up that Monkey King bar.
And it feels like this is all just buying time for Rises to maybe buy this Rapier, and once he gets it, he will be able to put out the damage that he needs. He'll finally be able to burst someone possibly in that Abyssal Blade, as we saw him do before on Tingle King, but still, if the Roshan responds a little bit too soon, I think the Cut are heavily favored. Any fight, or any objective that's going to force Egoboys out of their base is just so risky for them to contest with. Daedalus on alone. Okay.
I mean, we saw him go for the Chrysalis. I wasn't sure if he was going to go Daedalus or the Bloodthorn. I mean, he's just a right-clicking core. He needs to try and find a way to burn through this IO, and magic damage is not going to be the answer. So this Quas Exhort, or I'm sorry, this Wex Exhort Invoker, he's just going to be relying exclusively on
and there we
that
go.
right-click damage.
Divine's online. Now the issue is you've got a Divine online with a 6-second BKB. If they don't get their damage out, if they don't get everything done instantly, then this is going to be rough. At the same time, though, I've seen Cut in these positions. If anything, they are not going to throw. They're just going to be patient, maybe sit on the high ground, do what they're doing, try to bait out smokes, and
ooh, they got the scan.
They clipped them.
They know they're in the mid lane. They absolutely know they're in the mid lane. The question is, like, you definitely don't want to leave the high ground, right? Like, it's definitely the best position for you to be in. So they will sit right here where they have the vision. They get a Trickster's Cloak. Oh, baby.
And Vol just finished his Shiva's Guard as well. So Shiva's Guard and level 18. So this egg is a lot more difficult to kill. And again, they have to be so careful with their engage. Oh. And the creeps are in though. Egoboys, they have to show their hand in a few here, and they just don't want to back. They don't want to show anywhere. They want to try and get a fight.
Oh man, this is the worst timing for Egoboys because Roche is up, and they have to go defend their base. They have to go defend their base. They're in so much trouble if they don't. Tingle King's gonna walk in.
As well. The Cut know exactly what's going on, and here they have to start this
in
fight
comes
very
Rises.
quick.
He's looking for Tingle King. I mean, he really wants Scourge, but the BKB, the Abyssal comes out. Mars just doesn't care. Egg right on the side of the pit. He needs to get this arena off. He does just in time, and now Rises pinned against the wall. Absolutely evaporated by Scourge here. But Scourge falling incredibly low as well. Alone, that physical damage plus that Death Ward just do the work. The buyback, the relocate in. The fight going the way of Egoboys for a while, but the buybacks plus that reload are just too dang strong, and Scourge, as well as the damage from Vol's Phoenix, will find it as they end up taking a massive fight. Where did the Rapier end up? It's on Mars.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's on Mars. Tingle King went a little bit too crazy there. Scourge was relocated right on top of it. There wasn't really any way that he wasn't going to end up getting it, but Mars is not one of the worst heroes you could have that on.
Yeah, God's Rebuke, you know, does a lot of damage, especially since he has Desolator. He'll take Cheese and the Aegis now.
And we'll see. I wonder if they're going to hit these T4s a little. They took so much damage in that meantime from those super creeps that if they don't have buyback, they see they don't have buyback on Alk, this game could end incredibly quickly as soon as the glyph's gone. Yeah, they're pinging it. They want something. Here we go, Tingle King.
He's going to do what he can here. I mean, he's got BKB, but obviously not worth using it just to dodge out an EMP.
And it feels so terrible. You bought back on 10 seconds on your Death Prophet because you were just afraid of the overcharged Deso Mars just ripping through your base. Well, he's got an AC2 now. This is like... It feels like they're almost assuredly Megast at this point, as they're just going to push in. He just ate the cheese for mana.
Yeah.
No cares.
They actually had Flicker on the Mars, so now Mars is hasted, and Io has
Tano.
600 MS.
Oh, Egoboys are
Nice
out of
catch
the
here
base.
onto Pingu. A lot of damage again from Alone. He's able to be protected by the arena, though. Alone comes in. Abyssal Blade trying to do the damage onto Tiny, but the Earth Splitter coming through. Gonna split them up. Rises. Goodbye, sir. No way to survive Tingle King.
Oh,
I am the carry now, he says, as he just drops these heroes one by one. God's Rebuke gives him a triple. Nice stun there from Tano, but the dive in. Vol looking for the lad. Goes into the air, though. And now Tingle King gets a rampage for a twofer. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I was saying. When you have Deso, God's Rebuke, pretty good. And now he gets the God's Rebuke 65% crit. The base
Won't
is
even
dead.
get to see it in action.
Yeah,
It's just, yeah, it's too late.
It's too much damage coming out here. An incredible game one being played by the Cut.
If anything, Egoboys, it really felt like they were in a pretty dominant, safe spot for a majority of that game. They were able to get a lot of the map under their control. They were able to push out a lot of those lanes, but it kind of goes back to that Roche where they just weren't able to defend it. They fed those kills. It was just one ward, one obs, one sentry, seeing Rises walking to the pit, and it flips the game on its head. It allots so much space and time to the Cut, and that's when you really start to see this win probability take a big dive towards their side. And at that point, you draft not necessarily to win your lanes, but you have these super strong lanes, and you have this just superior team fight all around, and Egoboys aren't able to get the snowball going. And out from behind, it just never feels good. And Rises just wasn't able to do the damage after a certain point. I mean, we saw in that last fight, even when he was beating onto Nick for what, the entirety of his Abyssal Blade and the entirety of an impale that Tano got, it just did no damage. There's just not enough in the tank.
He's just overcharged. He's got that Trickster's Cloak, giving him pretty much everything he needs for that survivability. Like 20% evasion against this Alchemist was amazing since he had already lost the Divine Rapier at that point. And yeah, I mean, they just did, like you said, they just started lacking damage. They were pretty much all in on that Divine Rapier. And as soon as that fight was lost at the Roshan, I don't really know what to do. And the Cut, an incredible game one. I would be incredibly surprised if we see an IO in game number 2. I think this is something that a lot of teams have been taking note of. And we'll probably see that hero banned out. But we'll be back after just a short break, everyone. Game 1 between the Cut and Egoboys goes the Cut's way. But game 2 coming up after just a short break. We'll see y'all very soon.